A big congratulations if you have finished the previous tense videos, because here we are at our final time, the future tense. And today we're going to be focusing on future simple and future continuous. Do remember, some teachers will call the continuous tense progressive. I don't. I call it continuous. In actual fact, these two tenses, future simple, future continuous, are easier to use than some of the other structures we've looked at for tenses in the last few videos. So you can breathe a sigh of relief and feel confident that this will be easier than some of the previous tenses. Okay, so let's begin with the future simple tense. And here's an example. I will finish my coursework. This is a plan. This is something I haven't started yet. I will do it in the future. So we use the future simple tense to talk about actions that haven't happened yet. Actions in the future that we plan to do. And we make it quite simply using subject plus will, any subject and will, plus verb plus object. Now the verb form is V1, that basic verb form. Here's an example. I will eat a big breakfast tomorrow. I hope that's true. Now in this example, it's obviously a plan for tomorrow. It's something that we will hopefully do tomorrow. I will eat a big breakfast tomorrow. Contraction, I will. I'll eat a big breakfast tomorrow. Here's another example. I'll apply for a new course next month. This is further in the future. So it's not tomorrow, it's next month. But we still just use the future simple tense. And here we can see the contraction in writing. I will, I'll. Okay, so these are all positive statements, plans for the future that we will do, that we want. How do we make it in the negative? Again, quite straightforward, but one thing to look out for. We have subject plus will not or won't plus verb plus object. Now you might be saying, David, I think you made a mistake. Will not, contraction to won't. That doesn't look right. It doesn't look like will not has shrunk at all, because won't is really a completely different word. Should it not be willn't or something like that? In actual fact, it's not. It's very strange and it's difficult to explain, but basically the English language sometimes is really strange because it's so old. So some of the rules actually seem really strange, but you just need to remember them. Will not contracts to won't. Here's a challenge. If you can tell me why will not contracts to won't, please let me know in the Q&A section and I'll let you know my thoughts. My understanding is, I'm not going to tell you, but it's basically, the starting idea is because of how old the English language is. Anyway, a challenge for you there. So that is how we contract in the negative form. We go to won't. Pretty rare, not often, that we would say will not. Anyway, here is an example. He will not go to the coffee shop later. So this is something he won't do. Something in the future that will not happen. Now, it does sound a bit strange. He will not go to the coffee shop later. It's almost like the stress, the importance is put on will not. Almost like the tone of my voice is angry. He will not go to the coffee shop later. It just doesn't quite sound native. Of course, I'm looking to really boost your native sounding speaking. So generally we would use won't, and I suggest that you practice with won't. They won't attend the afternoon meeting. They won't attend the afternoon meeting. A strange contraction, but that is the rule. Won't. Okay, so quite straightforward, quite easy to use, and a commonly used tense as well. Let's see the question form of the future simple tense. So 6 W's, as always, if you want to use them, plus will, our subject pronouns, and then simple verbs, so V1. Here is an example. Where will you travel this summer? The question really is asking for somebody's plans. How about this example here? Why won't you listen to me? Now, the tone of my voice with this question, again, is a little bit maybe frustrated, a little bit angry. Why won't you listen to me? And generally, if we use won't as a negative, it does occasionally have a slightly frustrated or upset sound to it. Why won't you listen to me? Okay, so there we go. That's how we use the future simple question form. Now we'll move on to the future continuous. Sarah will be going home at 9 p.m. Okay, so what do we use this tense for? Well, it's basically used to discuss ongoing events in the future. So the emphasis, the importance is actually put on the action, which is going to take some time. We do this by subject plus will plus be plus the gerund verb ing. And again, as you will be pleased to hear, will, our helping auxiliary verb, it doesn't change dependent on the subject. So any subject pronoun and we use will. Here is an example. We'll be waiting at platform 3 at 5 p.m. We will, almost like, it sounds like the wheel of a car. We'll be waiting, will, almost like the name, we'll be waiting at platform 3 at 5 p.m. And another example, you'll be wishing you took my advice. So I'm showing you more contractions now as we become a little bit more secure in our understanding of different English language skills. You'll be wishing you took my advice. That almost sounds like a warning. You'll be wishing you took my advice. Okay, so let's see the negative contraction. Again, will not or won't. Generally use won't. He won't be visiting this weekend. Kim's family won't be calling us today. Okay, so just a few examples of the future continuous in the negative form, using won't for both examples. Okay, so last part of this skill-based lesson for future continuous is, of course, our question form. So start with the 6 W's, and here is how we form. So will, our auxiliary verb, plus the subject pronoun, plus be, plus the gerund, ing verbs. Here is an example. How will you be paying today, sir? A common question in services such as hotels or restaurants. How will you be paying today, sir? How will you be paying today, ma'am? And another example here. Who will you be supporting tomorrow? So we're kind of asking for future events that haven't happened yet. And we're sort of asking for people's plans. And the emphasis really is put on the ongoing action. Okay, so that is how we form future continuous for questions. And really that's it. So it's time for us to take a look at some more examples in the animated section of the video.